As you may have witnessed in the previous video, we are surrounded by the ghosts of geniuses. Yet very often we walk past them. A lot of stories are trapped by scholar formalities. As I said in the first video, I'm sure a lot of you don't like history. Just because, maybe your teacher wasn't the most exciting kind of storyteller. Just made you memorize dates after dates and dates. Yet history lessons are storytelling too, even though it doesn't seem like it sometimes. But during my first year of bachelor's, I had the opportunity to try something to change it. An amazing team, of which I was lucky to be part of, had to work on an escape room. So we literally had to trap people. And why not to trap them in early Renaissance? Making them feel the weight of a secret that changed the world. Yet somehow a lot of people forgot about it, neglecting its importance. Today, I'm taking you right inside the development Digital Valla Escape Room, an XR experience dedicated to Lorenzo Valla. A journey through a dark mystery of 15th century Rome, where history meets the future of play. Hands up, a lot of things are made up, but the historical basis is still there. Because when you build for history, you can't just guess. And in fact, being a bit of a nerd, my responsibility was the historical framing. Every setting, every prop, every architectural detail in the room had to be perfect, at least in my opinion. I made a huge focus on Lorenzo Valla, also known as the father of philology, the study of the word, whose discovery, just a book analysis, nothing interesting, right? Actually was incredibly dangerous for politics and religion at the time. Moreover, after not having found any relevant information on his death, this forgotten story seemed just like a dark mystery fantasy. Unfortunately, I can't tell you everything. The escape room is still in production, and I want people to play it, not just to hear about it. To play it and to learn from it. You probably already know, but what you learn during a game stays with you for a much longer time, because fascinatingly, your brain believes that it's something you need for your survival. Plus, research shows that while students might yawn in history classes, a lot of them still crave immersion in media. Not only some regions of your brain develop faster during a game, like attention or motorics, the empathy you feel towards a character is also crucial for a better memory. As you can guess, that's why a lot of brands use mascots. Because all of these reasons, game-based learning is actually incredibly efficient, especially through immersive media, as VR, virtual reality, or AR, augmented reality. By the way, according to the Handbook of Media Psychology, VR is not only the virtual experience that you live in the opposite helmet. Virtual reality is also just the video game that you're playing. Computer or phone, well, it's indifferent. Quite some studies are continuing to prove that there is actually not such a big difference on the effects that the different tools have on your brain. We didn't know it at the time. So initially the project was in virtual reality completely. But sure, we already knew, the analog world still matters. Luckily or unluckily, it will always matter. So the team pivoted to a hybrid experience. By combining digital projections with physical props, we created a space where AR mystic decorations lived on the walls of a real room. This transition allowed the history of Rome to breathe. Not only we were based in Rome with our physical escape room, Rome was also the city where Valla lived and worked for all of his life. And it also gave us the possibility to slightly change the approach to VR user experience. Because we had to use the helmet VR. And I don't really want to offend anyone, okay, no offense, but the majority of people who try VR for the first time in the first 10 to 20 minutes are completely lost. And the whole escape room experience had to be short, something like 20 to 40 minutes. So in an escape room where the time is literally ticking, we couldn't just leave our users there standing in a room for 40 minutes trying to understand what to do. It's a sad reality of any kind of user experience. You always have to assume your user knows nothing. The majority of experiences have to be extremely beginner friendly. Not because people in general are not smart. I really hope they are. But because the environment is very new. And if the experience doesn't guarantee you a flow, the mystery and the excitement are just lost in frustration. You have to enjoy the experience and you don't have to be afraid of missing out something. And yes, here we go again with the story of FOMO, or fear of missing out. Super popular concept, and actually super important. Not only in user experience, but in general in your mental health. I would like to make this tiny parenthesis. If you are, like me, in your 20s, and you feel like you're behind everything, you feel you're not enough and everything is crashing around you, this too might be just the fear of missing out. And this is not your fault. The world is too fast. Marketing uses it to sell you more stuff because maybe this is the last day when the thing is available. So yes, every day you're feeling like you're missing out on something. You're missing out on a product or on a service or on your entire life. This is not you, this is part of a very bad user experience. And this is why we were so worried about adding this terrible feature to our game. We had to guide our users through the story without making it seem like the technology was the obstacle. Not making the technology overwhelm the history, making it look like something too new, too scary. Once again, the evil doesn't stay in the tool. The evil stays in the hands of who beholds it. We really wanted to use this tool at best, to make you feel part of something bigger, of history, and to make you understand the importance of some apparently unimportant or forgotten things. How often have you thought about the fact that one single paper discovered by a scholar somewhere could change the whole world? Past and present, everything. How often do you think about how dangerous it could be for many people at the time, but actually today too? What risks scientists and scholars can go through when they talk about something they have discovered. Even if you think media is so fast and informations travel fast, there will always be some things we may never discover in our lifetime because we neglected them and thought they are not important, or because they were discovered and initially presumed incorrect. In our everyday lives, we are constantly bombarded by streams of information. And in our heads, the clock is always ticking. We always feel like time is not enough. We run and we don't concentrate, so sometimes it doesn't feel like some kind of information could be crucial for you, could be the key to open the door. And how often do you actually consider sharing this information with others? But different perspectives and communication, once again, can change the course of the game. If you play together and you listen to everyone, someone gets the historical key. Someone gets the developer's perspective. Someone translates it in art. If the connections in the single brain are more numerous than stars in the universe, how many connections could be inside and in between of 2 and 3 brains, or 4 and 5 and more? Together you learn faster, especially when you work together towards the same goal. This is too scientifically proven. So imagine a day coming to a museum and playing a virtual reality escape room that makes you learn about a historical figure and about a city at the same time. I've made quite a lot of surveys, and data is pretty clear, even though since the sample is pretty small, it shouldn't be trusted 100%. But tourists and students in Rome wanted a concentrated historical experience. An experience like this in a museum wouldn't be just a visit, and it wouldn't be just a souvenir bought in the museum shop. I'm a believer in the fact that knowledge is priceless. Knowledge can stay with you for longer than anything or anyone else. It can change your life, and sometimes it can even save it. And it's not like big things begin when you have enough knowledge. You begin to notice big things when you have enough knowledge. This is quite a bit of riddled information. Because yes, I like to make people crazy. I shouldn't be crazy alone, okay? Everyone should be. It's funnier this way. But if you get through this, you will also be able to get through the next episodes, which, if someone asks, could become more technical and theoretical and maybe useful in discovering some different aspects of marketing and technology and psychology and sociology and game development and a lot of useless stuff, but fine. I will stop talking now. I just forgot to say thank you. Damn your patience.